Tonight in Tempe, Sun Devil fans look forward to their second season as they open Pac-12 play. A tough test awaits with number 24 Oregon and their star running back, Royce Freeman.
One of the best running backs in all of college football, Royce Freeman.
Royce Freeman's been outstanding this season.
Can we get Freeman on the Heisman watch?
He is a complete package at the running back spot.
Second leading rusher in Oregon history.
You're looking at one of the greatest running backs in college football.
An absolute beast of a back.
Sun Devil Stadium on this Saturday night. It's the conference opener for both number 24 Oregon and Arizona State. Pac-12 football presented by Valvoline as the Ducks come in at 3-0 and the Devils at 1-2. Along with former Iowa and NFL defensive lineman Anthony Herron, Lewis Johnson with us as well. I'm Roxy Bernstein, and yesterday we met with Arizona State coach Todd Graham. One thing that he made very clear to us about Oregon, we need to stop number 21 from the Ducks.
One of the baddest battering rams in all of college football. There's been folks for years trying to stop Royce Freeman. A lot of folks hoped he was going to go to the National Football League, but to everyone's nightmare around the conference, he decided to come back, and he's better than ever.
Here are the numbers so far for Royce Freeman this season. 4 touchdowns in the open when Oregon put up 77 points. Anthony, he leads the country in rushing touchdowns.
And when you compare it to what he was able to do the entire season last year, it's just astounding the start he's gotten off to. Already in the first 3 games, 3 150-yard efforts, only had 1 all of last season, 9 rushing touchdowns to lead the nation, 9 all of last year. And let's take a look at how the offensive line is operating at a different level as well. 2016, this inside zone. There's center Jake Hansen operating with Cameron Hunt, the right guard. Look at the pad level. Standing straight up. Knees are straight. They're blocking from an erect standpoint because they thrust their hips together initially, so you can still gain yardage because Royce Freeman runs through contact, but Hunt not able to work as effectively up on the second level at the linebacker. But let's take a look at how Mario Cristobal has been working differently this year. Now Hunt, Hansen working with Jake Pisarcik in there. Just such an aggressive charge. Pad level so different than what we saw last season. This cavernous hole for Kenai Ben Wise. He gets up to the next level, and there's Pisarcik able to just peel off and take away that linebacker. Now just that easy running lane for the 6.
On the other side, for the Arizona State Sun Devils, a tough setback at Texas Tech last week. A narrow loss in the end. They're 1-2 coming in. And for Arizona State, though, even in a loss, Todd Graham thinks they found something last week.
I believe they did, because Manny Wilkins threw the ball well, and they finally found a way to consistently target N'Keal Harry, one of the better weapons in the Pac-12 Conference, a true sophomore. 18 targets in that game last week versus the Red Raiders, had 13 catches. One of them, he took a slant route to the house for a touchdown.
So Ducks and Devils starting conference play. Oregon winning the toss. They will receive as the Sun Devils getting ready for this one, taking the field at Sun Devil Stadium as we say good evening to Lewis Johnson.
Roxy, good evening. And as both teams do take the field tonight for the beginning of their conference play, there are key injuries on both sides. And let's begin with Oregon. Their senior slot receiver, Charles Nelson, is out with an ankle injury from last week in Wyoming. In the first 3 games of the season, Nelson leads the Ducks with 15 catches for 234 yards, and now the Ducks will have to lean on a core of young wide receivers in the team's conference opener here in the road. Willie Taggart said he's going to miss his guy on the field. Now, for Arizona State, it's a big defensive loss with Karan Crump out with a left knee injury. This is not what Graham wanted to see. Crump on crutches and not on the field as the Sun Devils try and stop this ever dangerous running back from Oregon in Royce Freeman. So Roxy and Anthony, question between the 2 injury losses, maybe the biggest challenge is on Todd Graham, who needs a better defensive performance after the first 3 games. Crump's loss is going to be huge. Guys trying to fill up his big defensive numbers and those size 13 cleats today.
All right, Lewis, the kickoff from Brandon Ruiz through the back of the end zone will be an Oregon ball, the 25, as Justin Herbert, the sophomore quarterback, leads the Oregon Ducks. He's completed already 72% of his passes this season, but last year tied an Oregon single-game record, 489 yards passing in their win at Autzen Stadium against Arizona State back in the middle of October.
Nice, sleek, sharp-looking graphic there, thanks to Eric Luke back in San Francisco. Speaking of sleek and sharp, Justin Herbert behind center.
The 6'6" sophomore from Eugene. Taking a deep shot is Herbert right away, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Brendan Schooler, the converted defensive back now at wide receiver, who's the deep threat there in place of the injured Charles Nelson.
I think, yeah, that was a perfect ball. Schooler just wasn't able to haul it in. Right over the shoulder, bounced off both sets of fingertips. I would say one play in, Herbert looking very sharp.
Here are the difference makers when the Ducks have the football.
Terrell Crosby is one of the best offensive tackles in the Pac-12, really in the entire country. He's going to have to match up against a talented Arizona State defensive front, Tayshawn Smallwood. We'll see him largely over the nose, but sometimes over the tackle.
Freeman on 2nd and 15. Picks up a couple, runs into DJ Calhoun. And it's 3rd down for Oregon, and this is the situations where they're really going to miss Crump.
Without a doubt, when you know it's 3rd and long, and the opposing quarterback needs to be made uncomfortable, as Arizona State's defense has struggled on 3rd down mightily.
They've given up 55% conversions on 3rd down so far this year, but they get the stop. The open field tackle by Alani Latu on the dump off to Royce Freeman. And a 3-and-out for the Arizona State defense to start the ninth.
Initially, you see them bring an additional rusher off the slot. It's just a screen pass, so they eventually allowed the defensive line to leak through, and Latu was right where he had to be to make that tackle. First 3rd down of the game, advantage Devils.
Ryan Newsom, the return man, as it's partially blocked. Arizona State got a piece of it. The Devils have terrific field position for their first drive offensively. Tyler Wiley may have come through and gotten a piece of that.
And they immediately were able to get through. And this is more of a modern day punt protection set. I'm not sure.
Did he
got
just
a piece
shank
of it? It looks like just as the punt rush got through so cleanly that perhaps he just kind of got spooked.
At the plus 40, the Arizona State offense with Manny Wilkins goes to work. Kalen Ballage, the running back. Wilkins dumps it off to Ballage. Turns it upfield, spins, brought down, shy of a first down. Thomas Graham Jr., the corner on the tackle. There are the numbers on Manny Wilkins, who has played very well for Arizona State through the first 3 games.
I've been so impressed with him this season. Certainly still imperfect, and Billy Napier's working with him on certain things just to be consistent with his mechanics and with his accuracy. But when you think about where he was last season, regardless of the injuries he suffered, but just as a passer, so much more consistent in 2017.
On 2nd down, Wilkins. And it's Kyle Williams taking the handoff, and it's a receiver who moved into the backfield, and he's brought down about a yard shy of the first down.
There's a few playmakers that Billy Napier has targeted. He wants to make sure they get the football too. Kyle Williams is one of them.
Williams had a huge week, 2 touchdowns, 7 catches at Texas Tech. And here is Williams toward the sideline. Cuts it back, spun around, and brought down to the 15. Nick Pickett on the tackle.
You see why he views Williams as one of those main playmakers with some tempo coming here from the Devils.
From the 14-yard line. Slinging it out is Wilkins. And it's turning into the Kyle Williams show as he's brought down inside the 10. Pickett again on the stop for Oregon, and ASU quickly to the line. Second down and 4 for Wilkins. Arizona State has been perfect this season in the red zone in scoring touchdowns. 8 times in the red zone, 8 touchdowns, and Manny Wilkins makes it 9. First rushing touchdown of the season for Wilkins, and a terrific start for the Sun Devils.
Fake the dive inside. Oregon overreacting to the potential for the inside zone, and Manny Wilkins doing what Manny Wilkins does.
He had 5 rushing touchdowns last season, and that's his first here in 2017 as the freshman Brandon Ruiz on for the extra point. Manny Wilkins and the Devils take advantage of a short field.
Well, we know the mobility exists in the legs of Manny Wilkins. Defense bites down. Wilkins makes them pay.
And they took advantage of the short field after the short punt, and they only had to go 40 yards. There's a kickoff that skipped through the end zone. Ducks ball to 25, and on first down, Royce Freeman powers through the line. Brought down by Jamarcus Rhodes and Christian Sam. And here is the first half scoring numbers as the Ducks have scored 42 in the first half of each of their first 3 games.
We have an Oregon offense that for years was as explosive as it got. First 3 games, they started off even better.
Play action for Herbert. Fires deep over the middle, out to midfield. Dylan Mitchell for Oregon. Chase Lucas on the stop.
The rest of the offense for Oregon, the other 10 guys haven't all been that great so far, but I'll tell you what, Justin Herbert's looks sharp.
Empty backfield. ASU bringing pressure. Herbert throws for Breland. Gain of 19 to Jacob Breland.
Now look at the off-platform throwing. Normally, Herbert would continue to run and throw that as he's rolling. They would reset his base. Deliver a very nice ball.
Royce Freeman down to the 10-yard line. Another big chunk play for the Ducks.
Royce Freeman is built low to the ground. He's not much of a high stepper. Maybe if he kicked his heels up a bit, might have been dancing in the end zone.
Freeman into the line. Gets a couple before he's brought down.
Let's check that previous play out. From outside the 30-yard line, so he took the give. The entire pile just got washed down. It was a nice cutback from Freeman. He's not a big-time jump cut guy, but he does have the ability to go against the grain.
Oregon can get a first down. Nothing there for Freeman, who stood up. Christian Sam, along with J.J. Wilson. As Wilson, who just this week moved from tight end to the devil position in the absence of Karan Crump. And Wilson was the starting tight end at the beginning of the season.
It's another third down for the ASU defense.
Herbert for the end zone. Dylan Mitchell, touchdown. Second touchdown for Mitchell, the sophomore from Memphis on the season.
For a sophomore wide receiver to run the route this effectively, it's basically a switch route where you don't get the full rub, but you're maximizing the space available to the corner, and Herbert just threw the ball with such precision.
Oregon wastes no time to get back the touchdown they gave up. And now Aiden Schneider on for the extra point. It was perfect on the season, 24 of 24. And the senior from Portland, who is the most accurate kicker in Oregon history. Ties the game. Quick strike for the Ducks. We're even in Tempe.
But as they needed to answer the bell, we know Justin Herbert can get it done. Charles Nelson out. Dylan Mitchell making the play. Herbert, smooth as ever.
As Caleb Balaj will go to a knee, out to the 25. Wilkins is 4 of 4 through the air. The pitch. And it's N'Keal Harry trying to turn it upfield and brought down behind the line. Elijah George there along with Lamar Winston Jr. for Oregon. And a loss on the play to bring up second down and 12. Although it was a UCLA Bruin in that commercial, right? It was dropping dimes.
It was.
Yeah. Kevin Love.
Uh-huh. The more slender Kevin Love now. I don't know if that last play with the pitch, the option pitch off the reverse action, it's not necessarily going to be N'Keal Harry's strong suit.
Picking his way And a solid run from Kalen Ballage, brought down by Nick Pickett, along with Jonah Moy. To bring up a manageable third down for ASU, and this offense has looked crisp so far tonight.
Speaking of strong suit, the interior of this ASU offensive line has been very effective early in the game. We referenced A.J. Hotchkiss going out. Kalana Apelu, he's really having to hold up. He's only 200 pounds, playing inside linebacker. That is tough duty when the team's running downhill at you.
3rd down and 4. Ballage straight ahead, runs right into Henry Mondu. Decision for Todd Graham. It's a 4th and 3 at the Oregon 43. And what would you do?
We can let this roll. Apelu's going to flash in from the right side of the screen, and if you can't take on blockers, then you have to be able to use quickness to avoid the blocker if you're going to try to make a play.
Todd Graham is going. Inside 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. The Devils are 3 of 6 so far on 4th downs this season. Wilkins to the outside for Harry, who adjusts, and a tremendous catch by N'Keal Harry to convert on 4th down. 16 yards.
Now the option pitch may not be in the wheelhouse of N'Keal Harry, but the contested 50-50 ball is what he's all about.
Harry had 13 catches for 148 yards and a touchdown last week in Lubbock against Texas Tech. On 1st down, to the outside to Ballage. And a short gain, quickly on it, Thomas Graham Jr., the freshman corner for the Ducks.
It's tough duty. We've got Thomas Graham's a true freshman. Yamador Lenoir's a true freshman. Nick Pickett's a true freshman. Billy Gibson's a freshman. There's so many freshmen who are playing and rotating through the secondary for Oregon under Jim Leavitt. We're still very early in the season. What I'm so impressed by, though, in watching the film just through a few games, they're all very aggressive. They're willing to tackle, and most importantly, willing to challenge wide receivers.
On 2nd down, Wilkins taking a shot for the end zone. Kyle Williams, and it's incomplete. Graham in coverage for Oregon is the first incompletion tonight for Wilkins. And it's 3rd down for the Sun Devils.
And when those one-on-one opportunities present themselves, I mean, we were here a couple of weeks back against San Diego State, where a lot of those one-on-one deeper passes were missed by Manny Wilkins. He's got to hit some of those tonight because the Ducks are going to put up points.
On the rollout, Wilkins toward the sideline, coming back, and it's caught. Jalen Harvey for Arizona State and a 1st down. Ugo Amadi in coverage for Oregon.
One of the things we'll see on display, both of these quarterbacks have courage under fire. Manny Wilkins on this sprint action. Multiple defenders coming downhill as they trigger, delivered an accurate ball.
Wilkins keeps. There's a flag down on the play in the end zone, plus another one on the Oregon sideline at the line of scrimmage.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 12 player did not get off the field. The penalty is declined. The result of the play, 2nd down.
So the flags were both for 12 men on the field against the Ducks. ASU declines it. There are the numbers. Arizona State is perfect. All touchdowns on 9 trips to the red zone. There's only 2 teams in college football that have scored touchdowns on every trip into the red zone this season, UTEP being the other coming into this weekend. UTEP was 4 for 4 starting the weekend. But now 9 for 9 after Wilkins ran in a touchdown already tonight. This is DeMario Richard, the ball carrier. And Richard gets close to a 1st down, brought down a yard shy by Elijah George.
DeMario Richard finally kind of got off the schneid last week. He got banged up in the opening game, so there were a couple of weeks where he just wasn't a part of the offensive game plan while he was getting healthy. It's good to see him back out there. He's a senior. He's really had a great career for Arizona State. He lost a little bit of weight this offseason. I love the way he's moving right now. He looks very sudden.
So Richard returned last week after missing that San Diego State game with an ankle injury. 3rd and 1. Richard, the running back. Richard dives for the 1st down. Oregon trying to pull him back. Justin Hollins there for the Ducks. along with Tyree Robinson, but it's a 1st and goal, Arizona State.
And even that run is an example of how different he is this year. I mean, you see him take off from 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, able to leap into the pile, as opposed to last year. I feel like that would have been more of a situation where he went banging away into someone's back and tried to move them. You saw him there, able to kind of thrust in the air, get skinny.
1st and goal from the 3. The pistol look with Richard behind Wilkins. N'Keal Harry in motion. Rolling. Wilkins for Harry. Touchdown, Arizona State.
This is tough duty on Jonah Moy, because the edge defender plays the dive for a moment, and then as Manny Wilkins comes in the reverse pivot, he thinks for a moment, do I cover? Do I rush? Decides to rush. Manny Wilkins makes the proper decision, puts it on the money to Harry.
75 yards for the Sun Devils in 15 plays. And nearly 6 minutes to get into the end zone. Brandon Ruiz makes it 14-7 Arizona State.
Early on at Sun Devil Stadium, we showed you N'Keal Harry being targeted 18 times last week. So far in tonight's game, every target has been right on point.
Brandon Ruiz will kick it off, and a tremendous start offensively for Arizona State. Manny Wilkins, 8 of 9 through the air, 71 yards, and now an onside kick, and the Sun Devils recover. Eno Benjamin recovers for Arizona State.
Well, we talked about Oregon's true freshman, about the one for the Devils, Eno Benjamin, backup running back. One of the nation's top recruits, making the first big play of his career.
It's actually Evan Fields. The double number monster got us. They both wear number 6, but it was Evan Fields who recovered the onside kick.
And what a call by Todd Graham. So well executed by Ruiz.
It was the freshman Fields who recovered on 1st down. Kalen Ballage through the line. Ballage barrels his way down to the Oregon 35. 18 yards for Ballage.
Right up the gut. Lack of size at inside linebacker, offensive line moving the pile.
One more for Ballage. Down to the 31-yard line. Brought down by Kalana Apelu. Arizona State averages less than 100 yards on the ground per game. And the Devils already with 66 on the ground. Here's Wilkins keeping. Manny Wilkins brought down near the 10 by Nick Pickett. Arizona State is gashing Oregon.
And that's a big part of the reason why. The addition of Manny Wilkins back into this run game as a real part of the game plan makes him so much more difficult to defend.
Hit as he threw it, and Wilkins goes down, took a shot from Jalen Jelks. A junior from Phoenix, a homecoming for Jelks, and he lowered the boom on Wilkins.
Wilkins ran for 25 yards last week against Texas Tech. That was by far his highest total of the season, which is a surprising number in recognizing how mobile he is.
2nd and 10. And Ballage hit immediately by Henry Mondu.
That was one of the things that Billy Napier spoke to us about, is that as they got rolling and they started calling some plays, even QB lead plays, running Manny Wilkins inside, the way that seemed to open up the rest of the run game and really even got him going a bit more as a passer.
They're down and 10 from the Oregon 11-yard line. Wilkins, protection holds up, lost it for the end zone, tried to get it to Frank Darby. Well covered on the play. As Tyree Robinson there for the Ducks, and it's 4th and goal. Or 4th and 10 rather at the 11. That'll bring up Brandon Ruiz, the freshman kicker, out onto the field.
Well, I believe Todd Graham will likely kick this field goal and put the points on the board. But if I'm Oregon, I got a field goal safe on right now just to make sure they're not going to try a fake.
The freshman from Gilbert, Arizona, Ruiz, who's 2 of 4 on the season. He nails it. And it's a 10-point lead for Arizona State. And Jim Leavitt joining Willie Taggart's staff at Oregon.
And to me, maybe the biggest assistant coaching acquisition of the offseason, because we saw how many struggles there were for Oregon on defense, especially last season. You compare that to what they've been able to do this year. Now, are we going to call them the Alabama Crimson Tide or the Stanford Cardinal on defense? They're certainly not that yet, but monumental improvements already very early in this young season.
Plus for Oregon, they had season, and this year they already have 7. As Ruiz kicks it through the back of the end zone and out to the 25. Kenai Benoit in at running back, the Phoenix product, the senior, who averages 10 yards per carry. Tony Brooks-James goes in motion. Herbert pumps. Herbert fires the deep ball. And it's Brooks-James into Arizona State territory. The versatile Tony Brooks-James with his 5th catch of the season, 31 yards from Herbert.
Seeing the tempo of the Oregon Ducks in operation here. Offense sprints up to the ball. Now they trust Justin Herbert. No check with me necessary.
Herbert keeps it, and he slides as Christian Sam was closing in. And Herbert gets about 3. Final minute of this first quarter, and Arizona State leading number 24, Oregon.
It's the very first time we've seen Herbert take off and flash his mobile ability to the defense.
Brooks-James and Benoit in the game together. Herbert keeps on the rollout. Now throws back to the left, and it's incomplete. Skips toward Dylan Mitchell.
Well, he's got a stronger arm than that. The defender flashed across the face of Justin Herbert. Maybe even gotten a finger on the football. It's going to be a long pass all the way back across the field.
Third and 8 for the Ducks at the ASU 42-yard line. Double stacked look. Pressure coming. Herbert hit. Jamarcus Rhodes the sack for Arizona State. In the absence of Crump, they have to find a pass rush. They bring Rhodes, who gets to the quarterback.
And this is how they manufacture that pass rush. Because we know there's no reason Todd Graham has ever been shy about blitzing the pocket, but especially when you're lacking your great individual pass rusher, find situations to attack the stack.
First sack of the season for Rhodes, and it takes us to the end of the first quarter, and a tremendous first 15 minutes for Todd Graham and the Arizona State Sun Devils. The conference opener for both sides, 17-7 ASU as we head to the second. We start the second quarter, and ASU, they're pumped up. Conference opener for both number 24 Oregon and the Sun Devils, and a 17-7 lead for ASU as Oregon punting as we start the second with Adam Stack. A wobbly punt, calling for a fair catch. Ryan Newsom makes it inside the 10 and backpedals down near the 7-yard line. And the ASU offense with the ball at their own 15-yard line. DeMario Richard, the running back, with Wilkins. Play action from Wilkins, dumps it off. It's Richard out of the backfield. And a gang of Ducks ready there, led by Justin Hollins. Loss of 1. Back to the 14-yard line. This Oregon defense, who had been opportunistic in the first 3 games this season, Been a little puzzled tonight by this ASU offense. There is nearly an interception. Arion Springs read it perfectly, just dropped the football.
And he hadn't even snapped his head around for the ball yet. It seemed like for whatever reason there wasn't as much urgency out of the break, and I think part of that was because Arion Springs had done such a great job impeding his progress up the field. He's one of the more aggressive corners in the Pac-12 getting his hands on folks.
Leads the Oregon Ducks in pass breakups this season. Still looking for his first interception. He nearly had it. Right in his hands. 3rd and 11. This Ducks defense trying to get off the field. Wilkins from his own end zone throws it away. Under pressure from Jelks, along with Jonah Moy. And it's a 3 and out for the Ducks defense, and the punting unit will come out for Todd Graham in Arizona State.
It's interesting that they didn't go with tempo on that drive, and the urgency of the players themselves seemed far lower. It seemed like they were decompressed. They weren't quite as...
Dylan Mitchell, the return man, standing at the Oregon 45. As Sleep Dalton with a short punt. Mitchell from near midfield, trying to dance his way through, gets into Arizona State territory. On the plus side of the field, the Ducks will go back to work. Down 10, Oregon on the road. Number 24, Ducks, down 17-7. Well, Jim Levitt's made the adjustments because in the first quarter, Oregon allowed Arizona State to reach the red zone 3 times. In the second quarter, ASU has not crossed midfield. State is Jalen Redd trying the fly sweep, and the freshman who burned his red shirt tonight, playing for the first time this year, brought down by Alani Latu.
Well done by Latu, being in position. Because you're in that gray area as the edge defender. Do I play the QB? Or I play the reverse player?
On 2nd down, Herbert toward the sideline. It's Brendan Schooler the catch. Brought down shy of midfield. Kobe Williams on the tackle, along with Jamarcus Rhodes. And it brings up a manageable 3rd down for the Ducks offense. Third and 7 from the Oregon 49. Justin Herbert, good protection. Fires over the middle. It's Schooler, who's leveled by Tautalatasi. And Schooler is still down. That was a big hit by Desmond Tautalatasi.
Well, Brendan Schooler was the one delivering these hits last season. Now on the receiving end from Daz Tautalatasi. 6.9 on the Richter scale.
A junior from Concord, the powerhouse in the Bay Area, De La Salle, hitting Schooler, the converted defensive back. A move to wide receiver in the spring. And the Ducks have been bottled up tonight by this Arizona defense, Arizona State defense, which had struggled, Anthony, the first 3 games of the season.
42 points every first half so far this season for the Oregon Ducks. Right now being held to 7 by the Sun Devils.
And ASU had been giving up nearly 38 points per game coming into tonight. Adam Stack has been a busy man in the first half. Another punt. And the ball bobbled, and it's recovered by Oregon. Ryan Newsom had trouble, and it's Winston recovering it for Oregon, and late special teams problems again for Arizona State.
Well, that's bad technique by Newsom, because he needs to address the ball further back, and as he addresses it, to step forward into it. Look at the last 2 games. Late in the first half, Michael Sleep Dalton from 2 weeks ago against San Diego State shanks the ball out of bounds. That led to points. Last week against Texas Tech, gave up a punt block. This one led to points late in the first half as well. These self-inflicted wounds in the final minute of the second quarter have been the separating factor as the Devils have gone into the locker room.
Let's see if Oregon capitalizes on the huge gift with 37 seconds left in the half. Split backs for Herbert. Royce Freeman sweeping to the left. Freeman turns the corner. Touchdown, Oregon.
The biggest plays on the ground this season have come to the left side. Terrell Crosby bottles down the left side of the offense. Jake Pisarcik pulls around and leads Freeman to the paint.
Plus a good block by the freshman receiver Jalen Redd out there, getting his first action of the season. 54th career rushing touchdown for Royce Freeman. And now the all-time Oregon record holder in touchdown runs. Backing up Schneider 5 yards for the extra point. Aiden Schneider still nails it. And it's a 3-point game after the fumble by Ryan Newsom on the muff.
That's a quality first half of football. Adjustments will be made by both staffs at halftime. Momentum swung back and forth. We've got a fun second half on the way here in Tempe.
Let's send it down to Lewis Johnson.
Well, Coach, you were almost in the locker room with a 10-point lead, but what happened there with that late problem in the special team?
Well, it just made a bad decision, but our guys have played a good half. Our guys come to play, doing some good things, playing good defense. We can't turn the ball over. That was the whole deal. We turned the ball over there and give them, 7 points there. But I'm proud of how our guys are playing. We got to come play another 30 minutes.
Thank you so much.
All right, Roxy.
All right, Lewis. So Arizona State, under Todd Graham, leading at the half. They're 32-3, and they lead at the half over Oregon, as the Ducks, who have won 10 straight in this series. But it's ASU 17, Oregon 14 at the half. We now send you to the San Francisco studio for the State Farm halftime report with Mike Yam. Getting ready for the start of the second half in Tempe. A look at Old Main on the campus of Arizona State, where the Devils have a 3-point lead at number 24, Oregon. Pac-12 football presented by Valvoline. 17-14, ASU leading the Ducks, along with Anthony Herron and Lewis Johnson. Roxy Bernstein with you. And it was a tale of two different quarters in terms of the offenses dominated the first quarter, and the second quarter is all about the defenses.
Very impressed with the adjustments made by both coaching staffs in the first half. I wish I was in the locker room at halftime to see how that played out.
So Manny Wilkins, who passed and ran for a score in the first half. We'll get ready to get to work as Oregon will kick off with Aiden Schneider starting the second half. And this will sail into the end zone, and Kalen Balaj will stay there as we check in with Lewis Johnson.
Well, Roxy, coming out of the locker room, asked Willie Taggart about the most glaring stat from the first half. That's being 1 for 7 on third down. And he said, it's pretty simple. We have to do better on first down. He said he counted in the first half 7 drives where they were 2nd and 7 or maybe worse. So better production in the first half. And remember our conversation, guys, with Mario Cristobal? He said they were looking for explosive plays tonight. We said, what's your definition? 12-yard runs, 15-yard passes, playing with lots of juice. Go, go, go. And we're not seeing any of that out of Oregon so far.
All right, Lewis, as we look at the quarterback numbers in the first half. From the ASU 25, Kalen Balaj, nothing there. As Oregon quickly closing in with Jordan Scott. Also there for the Ducks is Troy Dye. Bring up second down. And for Arizona State, those first 3 drives, they went quick. There was a rhythm to them. But then Oregon's defense stopped that flow that ASU was in.
Certainly did. I mean, the Sun Devils ran nearly 20 more plays in the first half than Oregon did. And normally that wouldn't be a big issue for the Ducks, but just like Lewis Johnson was talking about a moment ago, not much of the explosive variety. They weren't picking up that chunk yardage.
Second down 10. Wilkins under pressure, and the tunnel screen set up to N'Keal Harry, fighting his way out near the first down. Alana Upelu along with Nick Pickett.
It's one thing to get in position to make a tackle. But there's some big boys carrying the football for the Sun Devils, and they'll take you for a ride.
N'Keal Harry at 6'4", 215 moves the sticks. Wilkins on the rollout. Fires down the sideline. Jalen Harvey cuts it back. 20. Harvey at the 10. Harvey brought down inside the 5 by Thomas Graham.
This is the pass that Manny Wilkins has completed more consistently here over the last couple of weeks. Lower trajectory beyond the first level of coverage, but before the safety can react.
63 yards, and now on the ground, Manny Wilkins runs it in. Touchdown, ASU. Second rushing score for Wilkins tonight. Brandon Ruiz on for the extra point. And it's a 10-point lead again for Arizona State. The big play, Wilkins to Harvey.
You look at Manny Wilkins operate from the pocket. Right on the money to Harvey. Couldn't quite go all the way. So then as they're inside the 5, Manny Wilkins used the offensive line and called his own number.
So Manny Wilkins runs in his second touchdown of the night. He's also thrown a TD pass. And it's a 10-point lead for Arizona State as Brandon Ruiz with the kickoff. And this sails deep into the end zone. And Royce Freeman, his first carry of the second half, bottled up by Christian Sam and Tayshawn Smallwood. Pursuit from the ASU defense, Alani Latu there as well. And nothing against San Diego State and Texas Tech, but it was more the mistakes that ASU made in those two games than I thought it was that the Red Raiders and the Aztecs beat Arizona State.
I mean, you remember the state I was in as we called the San Diego State game. I was frustrated for the Sun Devils with the mistakes they made.
On second down, play action from Herbert. Fires deep over the middle. Too high for Dylan Mitchell. Pressure from Tayshawn Smallwood, and this is what the defense for Todd Graham has had to deal with the first 3 weeks.
Rashad Penny is going to be a high draft pick in the National Football League. He ran all over their defense. 620 yards of total offense, leads the FBS for Texas Tech. Now tonight, Oregon came in as one of the hottest offenses in the country. They've been able to hold them in check.
On third down, Herbert. Deep over the middle. Broken up by Jamarcus Rhodes. Tried to get it to Jalen Red. And it's fourth down.
There's an opportunity to run here for Justin Herbert. I do believe that if Herbert starts to utilize his legs to move the chains just a couple of times, it'll provide that additional attention that can get the rest of the offense turning.
3 and out for the Oregon offense, and Adam Stack punting to Jacob Brimhall now back on the return. And he secures it for Arizona State right near the 40-yard line. The Devils have opened up a 10-point lead again. Manny Wilkins and company leading at home in the Pac-12 opener. 10-point lead for Arizona State, 24-14. Here is the principal game summary and a big night for Manny Wilkins. Royce Freeman has found the end zone, but Arizona State jumping on Oregon early and trying to recapture that momentum which Oregon tried to corral there late in the first half with a special teams miscue that led to the Freeman touchdown. From the ASU 40, Kyle Williams goes in motion. This is DeMario Richard straight ahead. And a short gain for Richard is brought down on the play by Austin Faliu.
And if ASU is able to pick up a first down here, wouldn't surprise me at all if Billy Napier tells them to go with some tempo. It seems to have been when they found their best rhythm offensively. Obviously had the huge chunk play they picked up on the last drive.
Last year, Manny Wilkins did not get to play in that game in Eugene. He was injured, and Dylan Sterling Cole made the start at quarterback for Arizona State. As we check in with Lewis Johnson.
Well, Roxy Ant, we saw Arizona State with a fast start in the first quarter. We've seen the same thing here. And remember Billy Napier telling us that every Sunday he meets with his offensive unit leaders and kind of check in to see how everybody's doing. How's the morale? How's the team? And it was DeMario Richard telling him last week, Coach, we need a faster start. And so Napier took that comment to heart, built the message in all week about starting faster, built it into the practices, the good on good, which meant they started with game speed against the best offensive and defensive players in practice every day, and it's paid off tonight.
And Lewis' message delivered because of the quick start they got off to is N'Keal Harry to catch. Breaking tackles, Harry to the 20. Brought down inside the 10 by Arion Springs. The physicality from N'Keal Harry.
He's 220 pounds. So this is like a fullback with wide receiver speed You're seeing the defensive backs from Oregon having trouble tackling N'Keal Harry.
Demario Richard powering his way through into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona State. Third rushing touchdown tonight for the Sun Devils, and for Richard, his second on the season. Well, a fast start to the ball game for the Sun Devils and a fast start to the second half for ASU. Brandon Ruiz, the extra point, as the Devils have come blazing out of the locker room to start the third quarter.
Swag is through the roof for this Sun Devil offense. N'Keal Harry would not be denied as he tried to take it the distance. Couldn't quite finish the work, so Mo Rich running with destruction on his mind. As was discussed at the open of the broadcast, N'Keal Harry, they've been making all kinds of efforts to target him with the football. These numbers in tonight's game: 7 targets, 6 receptions, 118 yards.
Brandon Ruiz with the deep kick. And another touchback for the freshman. The Ducks down 17 with 10:53 to go in the third quarter. Had a tough time tonight against this Arizona State defense. Taj Griffin in motion. And then the pass goes out into the flat. The wide receiver screen set up to Johnny Johnson. And a short gain for Oregon.
I thought there was a chance Griffin would get the ball more frequently tonight than what we've seen so far.
Play action for Herbert. Open is Jacob Breland. And the tight end upended near midfield. Chase Lucas on the tackle, but Breland was wide open.
For the first down, here's the Ducks race over the football. An RPO look. Nice quick pass to Breland.
Play action for Herbert. Deep over the middle. Too far. Tried to get it to Johnson. And the freshman just couldn't run underneath it, too far out in front of him. A local kid from Chandler. Homecoming for him.
And Herbert adjusted the trajectory on that ball, where on the previous series, Jamarcus Rhodes was able to catch up on when he lofted more, throwing deep down the middle. That time he lowered the trajectory. Still well played by the defense.
How about that receiving core at Chandler High School with Johnny Johnson and N'Keal Harry? That pretty good for a high school duo? Tony Brooks-James, the ball carrier. And he's run out right near the first down marker. Brooks-James, last year's second team all Pac-12. Also showing off his speed for the Oregon track team. Does have enough for the first down. Ducks into ASU territory. Here is Brooks-James on the bubble screen to the outside. Jamarcus Rhodes reads it for ASU. And we were getting into the intricacies last night of this Gulf Coast offense of Willie Taggart. His version, I guess, of the West Coast, but since he was in Tampa, as it evolved, it became the Gulf Coast offense. Herbert keeps big hole up the middle for Justin Herbert.
And these opportunities will be there for Herbert as long as the defense continues to play as they are.
Split backs for the sophomore quarterback. At the 20. Herbert will throw for the end zone. Open. Touchdown. Johnny Johnson the third. First career touchdown for the freshman.
The drive began with body blows to the perimeter of the defense. And that always sets up in the Gulf Coast offense that knockout blow up the seam.
Second TD pass for Herbert tonight. And his 7th on the season is Aiden Schneider coming in for the point after as the Ducks strike quickly. Under 2 minutes finding the end zone. 20 yards from Herbert. to Johnson. And Schneider nails the extra point. 31-21, Arizona State. 9:02 to go in the third quarter. The response from Herbert and the Ducks. Aiden Schneider with the kickoff. This is returnable. As Balaj from the 2. Kalen Balaj spun around, gets across the 20, brought down shy of the 25. First down, Devils. Corralled in the backfield. Outstanding pursuit for the Ducks, and Jalen Jelks again along with McGraw. But Jelks having a terrific night for the Oregon defense.
Well, the adjustment Jim Levitt's made is every time they see that jet motion, there's a trigger coming from the field side to meet it in the backfield time and time again. We've seen that all throughout the second half so far.
A loss of 6. Jim Levitt able to dial it up that time. Wilkins rolling out, throws it away as Zapelu is chasing after him. Ring of 3rd and 16.
There's just nowhere to go with the football right now. And it got to the point on that snap where the receivers all met in between the hash marks and just stopped. It was almost like they were looking at each other. What do we do next?
Can the Oregon defense get off the field here? ASU 5 of 11 so far on 3rd downs tonight. Manny Wilkins steps up, goes down. Jalen Jelks again for Oregon.
It's been a coming out party in tonight's game for Jelks. You see him there with 2 different blockers there. They chip him. He does an outstanding job working back downhill. That's precisely where an edge rusher needs to be. You get speed in the feet of the blocker, then you come back downhill, make the play on an athletic QB.
The junior from right here in Phoenix having a big night at Sun Devil Stadium and forcing a punt for Michael Sleep Dalton. Dylan Mitchell on the return. Mitchell to the outside. Cuts it back. Brought down shy of the 40. Ducks get the football back. Down 10 here in Tempe. Now the Ducks get the screen to Royce Freeman. And Freeman across midfield. Freeman into Arizona State territory. Brought down by Alani Latu.
It's not bad to have a safety valve like Royce Freeman. Screen pass here. All kinds of penetration allowed into the backfield. Then rolls Royce, firing into the secondary.
Royce Freeman, Tony Brooks-James are split. And it's Freeman barreling his way down inside the 25. Down to the 22 as Christian Sam tackled him.
There's a level of aggression and ferocity that Freeman's been running the ball with this season that really wasn't there last year.
Play action for Herbert. Fires for the end zone. It's Brooks-James with the catch. Touchdown, Oregon. Flags down in the end zone after the score. But an athletic play as Tony Brooks-James went up the ladder to bring that one in.
Result of the play is a touchdown. After the play on sportsmanlike conduct, number 21 of the offense. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the kickoff.
The unsportsmanlike after the play, it is a touchdown from Herbert, his 3rd touchdown pass tonight.
I mean, there was a smoke stream behind this football from the right arm of Justin Herbert. Tony Brooks-James with receiver-type mitts.
And they misidentified the infraction on Oregon. It was against Brooks-James, not Freeman. And that's what Willie Taggart is getting across to Tony Brooks-James with the unsportsmanlike conduct call, which will penalize Oregon 15 yards on the kickoff. Aiden Schneider for the extra point. And the Ducks have climbed back within 3. So after ASU opened up a 31-14 lead from the 20-yard line, Schneider kicked off. I'm not an X-Men guy, so you lost me. Kalen Balaj spun around on the return, still going, and out across the 30-yard line. Manny Wilkins to the outside, too high for Jalen Harvey as the pressure coming in the face of Wilkins that time. Forcing the incompletion as Latrell McGraw coming off the edge. Second down. Manny Wilkins tonight, 17 of 28. 243 yards. He has thrown a touchdown and run for 2 more. Wilkins keeps. Upended in space by Arion Springs. 3rd down and 7 for the Devils at the ASU 34.
There's Jelks.
Wilkins, good protection over the middle, and it's a first down to Jalen Harvey. The ball may have been tipped on the way to Harvey. Jalen Jelks got his hand on it. Here's Wilkins. Under pressure. Flushed out. He'll run. And he's run out of bounds near midfield. And Jalen Jelks chased him down. And it's a loss of 4.
I mean, this is just great stuff from Jalen Jelks. He's 6'6", 250 pounds, chasing down one of the Pac-12's most athletic quarterbacks, and that's well before Wilkins goes to the sideline. This is completely legal, and he's swiping away at the football again. His defensive line coach, Joe Salavea, knows he loves that hustle.
6th tackle for loss and the 3rd sack tonight for Jalen Jelks. Wilkins under pressure. Flag down. Wilkins scrambling and goes down. Henry Mondu along with Lamar Winston Jr. The first man there was Latrell McGraw, as it seemed like the entire Oregon defense was chasing Wilkins.
71. Now penalties decline. Result of the play, 3rd down.
And Roxy, quite often in scenarios like this, I'd say, hey, quarterback's got to cut it loose. I'm looking at the receivers from Arizona State. This is adhesive level coverage we're seeing from the Oregon secondary. Manny Wilkins isn't cutting the football loose because there is nowhere to throw it where there's not an Oregon defender between him and his receivers.
3rd and 27. Wilkins launches one deep for N'Keal Harry. Flag down. Harry catches the football. Just out-muscles Thomas Graham Jr. It seemed like he was just boxing him out like he was a power forward. We talked to Bobby Hurley earlier. Bobby Hurley would like that play.
Pass interference on the defense, number 4. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 1st down. That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
So on 3rd and 27, the deep ball pays off for the Sun Devils to Harry.
There's still no one open on this play. Manny Wilkins could care less. He knows he's got a 6'4", 240-pound, 220-pound power forward downtown one-on-one, taking defenders to flight school. This 4th quarter is going to be off the chain.
And a maroon out at Sun Devil Stadium. We start the 4th, and Manny Wilkins over 300 yards passing. 5th time in the last 7 games for Wilkins he has gone over 300. And he has the Devils on the move as we start the 4th. Up 3 on number 24, Oregon. Kalen Balaj into the line. And a short gain brought down by Justin Hollins. And also Elijah George. But the red zone tonight, ASU 5 for 5. And on the season, they're 13 for 13 with 12 touchdowns. Wilkins has thrown a touchdown. He's run for 2. Kalen Ballage hit behind the line. Arian Springs drops him for a loss.
They're getting a stalemate at the point of attack with that ASU offensive line. Not nearly as much movement as we saw in the first half, where they were able to advance up to the linebacker level to get blocks.
And this was an offensive line, Anthony, that taken some heat the first 3 weeks. Look at the first week, New Mexico State at 7 sacks. They had a hard time establishing the run game, but they've been solid tonight in the run game. 3rd down, Wilkins hangs in the pocket for the end zone. Out of the back of the end zone is Jalen Harvey. Could not get the foot down.
This was available. Demario Richard came across, laid a titanic block on the blitzer, gave Manny Wilkins just enough time to float it into the back of the end zone. It's a little bit late and a little bit deep. Harvey not able to keep that toe tapped in.
Short field goal try for Brandon Ruiz from a tough angle here. This will be a 24-yarder. And Ruiz, who was originally a commit to Alabama, flipped about a week before signing day to stay home and go to Arizona State. And the freshman nails his second field goal of the night. And it's a 34-28 Arizona State lead with 13:25 remaining. Arizona State 34, number 24 Oregon 28. But the Ducks were able to hold them to a field goal and keep this a 1-score game.
That was big. You consider how the game appeared it might have turned off that last turnover. They traded turnovers, and then the defense was able to bow up.
Ruiz with a line drive kick that skips through the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Royce Freeman out across the 30. And Freeman picks up about 6 on that first down carry. Inside 8.5 minutes to go, and a 6-point deficit for number 24 Oregon. Again, no. This time Herbert keeps faking to Freeman, and Herbert runs for a first down. Tripped up by Chase Lucas.
He's quick enough to do it. You know, early in the game, he's been throwing the ball really well throughout the night. So I get as a quarterback, and I respect the fact that his mentality as they get back over the ball here is that he really wants to continue to carve him up with his arm.
Straight ahead, Royce Freeman gets the carry. Brought down by Jamarcus Rhodes.
Colossus, as we called Justin Herbert earlier in the night. He doesn't just have to beat you with his arm. He can carve you up with his hoof, too.
On 2nd down. Play action. Open is Breland. Breaks a tackle. Jacob Breland at the 20. Inside the 10. Wrestled down across the 5 by Lucas.
Well, I'm not sure if it was on purpose or not, but this spin move that Jacob Breland ends up throwing on Daz Tuilatasi is what got him out in the open field.
51 yards from Herbert to Breland. And it's Freeman. Gets maybe a yard.
And that can be a difficult tackle to come back under control because Tuilatasi is flying from the opposite end of the field, and he's trying to bring him down so quickly. Good agility shown by Breland.
2nd and goal, Oregon at the 4. Empty backfield for Justin Herbert. Freeman goes in motion. Fakes to Freeman. Herbert powers his way toward the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Oregon.
He can carve you up through the air and on the hoof. Look at all 6'6", 230 pounds of Justin Herbert leaning into that Devil defense.
And now Aiden Schneider for the lead. And the Ducks have gone in front.
Justin Herbert has been effective on the play action. And these are the moments in games that either make diamonds or burst pipes. They brought the kitchen sink, and Breland had the huge play. Then Herbert turning his legs to get into the paint.
Well, a response from Justin Herbert at number 24, Oregon. They have their first lead of the night. With 6:41 to play, they're the numbers on Herbert. Manny Wilkins has had a really good night also, the ASU quarterback.
I think they've both been very effective throughout the game. I mean, both of these multi-dimensional talents sparring deep into the fourth quarter.
Kickoff from Schneider. Here's Kalen Balaj. Spun around as he reaches the 20. And he's brought down by Jimmy Swain. Here Arizona State trying to respond, trailing for the first time tonight. And it's DeMario Richards spinning to the outside. Richard dragging Arion Springs. And he gets about 8 yards out to the 28. That was a powerful run by DeMario Richards.
He's still got the power, but I love the way he's moving, though, where he's minus about 15 pounds.
Richards straight ahead, first down Devils. Justin Hollins on the stop.
He's looking a little bit kind of back to freshman year DeMario Richards. Very sudden, very elusive, gets to top gear extremely quick.
At the 32. One more carry for Richard. And Richard to the second level. First down, Arizona State. Some hard-nosed running from DeMario Richards.
Hard-nosed running and very effective blocking at the point of attack. A.J. McCollum just able to move Jordan Scott enough to provide the cutback for Richard.
And Richard is a guy who had over 1,100 yards a couple of seasons ago. Play action from Wilkins. Jalen Harvey the catch. And Harvey into Oregon territory.
Between the two teams, Oregon hasn't been tested like this the entire season. Arizona State continues to have games coming down to the wire. They've been here before.
Mario Richard tried to get to the edge. Who else? Jalen Jelks gets up along with Troy Dye.
Looking back at the previous play, Wilkins, very limited pass rush, able to comfortably and calmly throw a strike to Harvey.
There's the freshman Ruiz. He's made a field goal tonight. Actually, 2 field goals for Ruiz, and he may be called upon to knock in a third as Wilkins, sliding, gets to the 23.
It's interesting. You know, it has the feel that they're just playing for the field goal at this point. You know, they certainly haven't completely shut it down, but you look at the tempo they're operating at. Look at the fact that Manny Wilkins took off and slid there when it looked like there was an opportunity to continue to advance the football.
That's having a lot of faith in your defense.
And your young kicker.
Yeah. 3rd and 7 at the 23. Wilkins from the pocket looking for N'Keal Harry. And he makes the catch, but out of bounds. Well defended by Springs. That was outstanding coverage.
It really was. And they've been in position throughout the night. This is the best version of Arion Springs we've ever seen. He's playing great football, using the sideline as the additional defender. These two have battled throughout the night, and it's been fun to watch.
So Brandon Ruiz straight on. This will be a 41-yard field goal. He is 2 for 2 tonight, 4 for 6 on the season. And the freshman from Gilbert trying to give ASU the lead. And he got it. Brandon Ruiz puts ASU back on top with 2:33 remaining. Big shoes to fill for Brandon Ruiz for the All-American, the all-time kicking leader in ASU history, Zane Gonzalez. But Brandon Ruiz is showing you why he was the top high school kicking prospect in the country last season.
Ty Graham played to put his kicker in position to strike one down pay dirt. And Brandon Ruiz did not let his coach down.
And this Oregon team trying to go to 4-0 for the first time since 2014 and trying to keep that winning streak going against Arizona State. And the Devils trying to avoid that first 1-3 start since 1994. On the return, Tony Brooks-James. Brooks-James out across the 30. He's out near the 40-yard line. Maurice Chandler eventually brought him down. Off to the 41-yard line for Oregon is Jacob Breland the catch. And he is shoved out of bounds at the 45. Chase Lucas on the stop, along with Abe Thompson. Once they spot the ball, the clock starting. From the 45 on second down, Herbert rolling out. Herbert stumbles, goes out of bounds. They'll say he stayed inbounds at the 39.
That's not too big of a deal yet. With 3 timeouts remaining, I wouldn't be surprised if Willie Taggart takes a timeout. Doesn't look like he will yet, though.
3rd and 12 for the Ducks, who are just 1 of 9 on 3rd down tonight. Three rushers for ASU. Herbert to Schooler, and Schooler gets out of bounds just shy of the 48. Fourth and 3.
As we know in college football, picking up the first down will stop the clock momentarily.
ASU showing pressure. Here they come. Herbert steps up. Herbert dives. It's close. The spot appears to be short. Turnover on downs. The Ducks were short. Now Oregon has all 3 timeouts with 1:09 to go, and right near midfield, ASU gets the football back.
Understandable jubilation on the sideline right now for ASU. The mission for Ty Graham, Billy Napier, make sure their offense come out here and salt this game away.
There is Karan Crump right there in the heart of the defense and urging on his fellow defensive lineman. The injured defensive end for ASU. N'Keal Harry in motion. It's DeMario Richard straight ahead. And Richard gets nearly 5 before he's brought down by Mondu. First timeout taken by Oregon. DeMario Richard. And he is wrestled down right at the line of scrimmage. And the Ducks burn their second timeout as Troy Dye on the tackle. And ASU looking to end the domination from Oregon. The Ducks have won 10 straight. 3rd and 5 from the 45. Would you dare throw the ball here if you're Arizona State? You quickly shot that one down.
Ty Graham will give me a heart attack if that happens.
They throw and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to Harry. And it was Springs in coverage.
You have a defibrillator available? Arian Springs, we've been highlighting him throughout the night. He's been up to the task over and over again. N'Keal Harry is one of the most talented receivers in the country. So he's certainly got his, but Arian Springs answers the bell there on third down.
So an incompletion saves a timeout for Oregon. Sleep Dalton with the punt. And it's a beauty. It spins toward the sideline, down right near the 10. And the Ducks, with 46 seconds remaining, have a timeout, down 2. At the Ducks 10, they do have that one timeout remaining. Herbert on first down. Coming back, catch is made, lunging toward the sideline, and Dylan Mitchell gets out of bounds and a first down.
Oregon using motion to dictate the coverage. When they go jet across, they move to safety, knowing the one-on-one matchup.
Herbert throwing deep. Incomplete. Tried to get it again to Dylan Mitchell.
As the ball was in flight, there was eventually a bit of separation created. Just couldn't quite get to the overthrow.
And the Ducks really missing Charles Nelson in a situation like this.
Their senior statesman at the receiver position.
27 seconds remain. Pressure coming. Herbert to the outside, incomplete. JoJo Wicker was closing in on the Oregon quarterback. Trying to get it to Cam McCormick, the tight end. Just 1 of 10 on third down tonight for Oregon. Herbert escapes, throws, incomplete. Jalen Redd, the receiver out there for the Ducks. And it's fourth down for Willie Taggart and the Oregon offense.
He went with that Baylor spread look. We had the stacked receivers outside the numbers, trying to open up the middle of the field. Safeties for ASU did an excellent job.
Fourth and 10. Herbert steps up, throws too high. Trying to get it to Jacob Breland, and Todd Graham and the Devils will hang on.
As Herbert climbs into the pocket, he feels a little bit of pressure from his right side. He stepped up. His base got out of whack. Breland was open. Sailed it over his head. Herbert knows that was a missed opportunity. Jubilation on the home side for the Devils.
Oregon has one timeout, and the victory formation for ASU, and they will end that 10-game losing streak to the Ducks and hand number 20 for Oregon their first loss of the season. And ASU will even their record at 2-2 as Manny Wilkins on a big night for Todd Graham and the Arizona State Sun Devils. Manny Wilkins, 347 yards passing, throws a touchdown, runs in 2 more as the coaches greet each other at midfield. Well, with the winning coach, Lewis Johnson is with Todd Graham.
All right, Coach, well, you guys had a good start. You got down, but tell me about this team fighting back to hold on for this first conference win at home.
I'm just really proud of our team. You know, I mean, we knew we had a good football team. Top 25 victory at home. Just couldn't be more proud of our players. Thank the good Lord above for blessing me to let me be able to do this with this team and this university.
We talked about it during the weekend before the game. You walked out here without Karan Crump, but how did you hold Oregon 1 for 10 on third down tonight?
Well, I think Coach Bennett did a great job. It's taken us a few weeks to adapt to our players, and I'm just so proud of our players. I'm so proud of our, the people in our program that have believed in us all along. And we ain't done anything. We're just 1-0, but big win tonight. Top 25 victory at home. Proud of our kids.
And you said that you thought that your offense was right on the cusp of having a breakout game. Was this what you were looking for?
Yeah, I think we've got good players. I think it's just taken us a while. We had 2 brand new coordinators and get everybody on the same page and adapt to our players. But great night to be a Sun Devil, brother.
Congratulations on your big night. All right, Roxy.
All right, Lewis. So Arizona State, who had lost 5 of their last 6 against ranked opponents, ends up with a top 25 victory here at home. And they got it done on both sides of the football tonight, Ann.
They most certainly did. ASU was the battle-tested team in the fourth quarter. It showed up at the moments where it counted. Certainly an imperfect victory for the Devils, but a victory nonetheless.
On Pac-12 After Dark, we got an upset as Arizona State knocks off number 24 Oregon. The Devils 37 and the Ducks 35. For our great crew, from my partner Anthony Herron, Lewis Johnson, our producer Michael Molinari, our director Scott Barkey, and the entire Pac-12 Network crew, I'm Roxy Bernstein from Tempe. The Devils get it done. Now to the Sonic post-game report.